Here comes Guillermo. Oh, yeah.
All right, 30 seconds.
Oh man, you're unbelievable. Oh, my brother. Were you flying? Yeah.
10 seconds.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God
Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. I'm Uncle Alan, and I'm so honored and humbled to have you with us today. It's Free for All Friday, which means anything and everything's on the table with good taste. Always remember that. And it's also the day that sometimes we get blessed with having our good buddy Guillermo Marino here, and he's here with us today. Cool as a cucumber after flying in. You're amazing. I say this before. This guy can move. He's fast. He's got moves like Barry Sanders. Some of you guys remember Barry Sanders out there. Fake right, go left, boom, spin, boom, boom, and he's there. It looked like he had just went through a walk in the park. Welcome, Guillermo.
Thanks, Alan. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I caught my breath.
Well, I was trying to fill it, give you time to recover because I know you just come fly. Hey, he's the busiest man in show business here. Never complains. He the boss here, and you can hear him here on KXEX, Best Talk in Town, 1550 at 4 o'clock most days, and right after Pastor Jim Franklin.
Yeah, that's right.
And then before Jim Franklin is Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Before him, Alan Autry.
That's right.
Part of him is Dan Bongino. Bringing it on and getting it on from 11 to 12 p.m. After that, or before that, is Hugh Hewitt. And then Dennis Prager.
Dennis Prager, yeah.
But where's Sebastian Gorka?
Oh, he's at...
Come on, Sebastian Gorka.
Two.
Okay. Yeah. We got an all-star lineup that Guillermo's put together here at the KXEX station. And it's such a joy to work here because it's not a big corporate conglomerate. They don't censor what you say. He's not the Justin Trudeau of talk radio. And that's a wonderful thing to have. I mean, he may not agree with what some of his hosts say. And it's, there's not too many outlets like that around nowadays. And to be a part of that, that's one of the reasons I do this. I don't get paid for this. Any revenue that's generated goes to a nonprofit called Legacy Education, and we're helping young kids navigate life, these at-risk kids. And I just enjoy and look forward to this hour. Kim is usually with us, but she's under the weather. And I was going to pop, as irony would have it, I was going to start the show off with a couple of my new heroes, and they're absolute heroes, and they're women. Willie Nelson says my heroes have always been cowboys. Well, ever since my mama, some of my heroes in life have been women, and two of them, Michelle Tafoya and Jennifer Say. We'll talk about those two. But another woman that I respect so very much just got a text from Guillermo, and we have breaking news here that's really a big thing locally. And I'm going to go this way. I'm going to say this individual made an impact outside here in her stance when it wasn't popular to take a stance.
Yeah.
So without further ado, give us the news that is bittersweet for me, and I'll throw for all of us here.
Yeah, Sheriff Margaret Mims is set to retire, and after 16 years of law enforcement, after a very decorated, a very successful law enforcement career. She had actually been in law enforcement for about 46 years, started out in Kerman, but after 16 years of leading the sheriff's department, she's going to retire. And I really want to back out a little further because Sheriff Margaret Mims, we got a lot of great sheriffs in the United States. And
Alice Villanueva down in L.A. right now, and you got
exactly, and they all
we've had some good ones here throughout history.
So I'm saddened when I saw this. I opened up my ABC 30, popped up on my phone, and when you kind of get a text news alert on an off time, it's something. Then I saw Sheriff Margaret Mims, and I was like, oh man. And so it's a punch in the gut because our sheriffs. You have Villanueva there. You have the sheriff out in Tulare. Oh, gosh, his name eludes me right now. Boudreaux. Sheriff Boudreaux. These individuals are like the last stand that have been very successful in getting the left and, maybe the independents to listen like, hey, listen, you guys got to slow down. You guys got to pump the brakes. They're not political. Although they've had to become political to pretty much say, hey, listen, you're letting out criminals, AB 109, Prop 47, Prop 57, and Sheriff Margaret Mims, and she's female.
Yeah,
female sheriff. I mean,
she took a stand on those things. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because another reason I just love her. There's so many reasons. I literally love this lady. She's not only a dear friend. You go beyond liking and respecting somebody, and you just love them from your heart. Yeah. And she, as you said, 45 years on the job. And you mentioned being a female. I supported her during the campaign. She ran against a guy named Cal Miner.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I believe that was his name. And what a name! That's like Matt Dillon, Cal Miner.
Yeah.
Strapping guy, and by all accounts would have made a good sheriff. But Margaret felt it was her time, and there was a tone. I heard it said to me in private. They would ask me, well, I know you're supporting her, but can she be tough on crime? I go, what do you mean? She has a history of, hammer and hope, tough on break the law. She'll come and get you.
Yeah.
You do what you're supposed to, and she's your best friend. Well, I go, what? Well, being, woman, are they tough enough? I go, hey, dude, they give childbirth. Okay. First of all, let's get that out of the way. And, but she faced a lot of that. That was the undercurrent is a woman up to the job.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
You were mayor at the time.
I was mayor at the time. Yeah, I believe 60. Yeah, right. I was kind of terming out there when she came in.
Wow.
But here's why I just love her so much. She knew that. She knew there was doubts out there, but she never played the misogyny card. She never played the gender card that she's being mistreated or not taken seriously. Okay. When it would come up, she would brush it away quick. And I'd ask her one day, I said, you really good at that. Maybe you want to dress. She says, Alan, look. She says, I want to be known as a good sheriff. I understand people want to do this and bring this into it, and that's all right. But I've got to protect the people of this county.
Yeah.
And whether it's female or male has really nothing to do about it. Yeah, it'd be not. Hey, I get it, but that's not going to dominate my thoughts. I got to go into this department, which was in kind of a little bit of disarray at the time. And there was a lot of folks internally that wanted Cal Miner. So she had a lot of healing that had to happen in there and bringing the troops together in there. And she did it, Guillermo. And I just, as a citizen, I'm so sorry to see her go because I think if there had been better sheriffs than Margaret Mims, it didn't take long to take roll call with her. But on a personal level, there comes a time when you need to walk away from that stress of that life and know that you've done a great job and move on.
And it's tough. And I think politics has just made everyone's job even harder, especially if you're an elected official. Yeah. And there's a lot of elected officials where, hey, you are what your party is. But there are other elected officials where, that really doesn't matter. That's not even secondary or thirdary. If that's it's Friday, I can make up words.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it up.
It's thirdary. Law enforcement is one of those where it doesn't matter because you're protecting Republicans, Democrats, Independents, everyone. And so it really it's unfortunate that politics has permeated everything, the movies, TV shows, commercials, department stores, and sheriffs and law enforcement departments have not been
as hit as hard.
It's just so I'm curious though, why she's retiring, because is it tougher to be a law enforcement leader in this political climate? And I think the answer to that is probably
Guillermo, we'll have her on the show. I'd like hopefully we'll schedule it
absolutely
when you and I can be together on this, because I know how well you think of her. My gut feeling is she feels like it's time. There's a voice inside you that tells you don't look at this and that. When you've been around as long as she has, so respected as she has, there just comes a time when you say it feels like I'm supposed to go. Just like that feeling I'm supposed to run. And that's the way it was for me for mayor. I ran 2 terms. People tried to get me to run for assembly, this and that. But I knew it was time for me to go from the world of politics. At that time, I just felt that the calling wasn't there anymore. And
did you get burned out?
No, not really burned out. It just, you try as a person of faith want to be where God wants you to be. And sometimes that's not where you want to go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be mayor. I didn't want to go to the mayor, but that's what I was supposed to do. Man, I went from series to series to series. And there was a big financial, and I was getting ready to go to another TV series. When God gave me that call, and there was a big financial upside to me not running for mayor.
Yeah.
Because your hands are tied as mayor. You got to, back then the salary wasn't that, but it wasn't about that. It was about doing what you feel God is calling you to do. And it's easy to love God. It's a little bit tougher sometimes to be obedient. And she was obedient to God. And by the way, you got to understand too, she beat cancer. Her faith in her beat cancer, and she's been through a lot. She's very close with her mother and very good, caretaker of her mother. And anyway, I just hear locally folks around the country that tune in. Some folks are happy with their sheriff, some are not. But if it's a tough job, and sheriffs have a way of becoming beloved in the community, the good ones. And so of what I speak. You probably in your area you have your sheriff that you really care about, and it's kind of, as Guillermo said, a kick in the gut, because she is without a doubt and by every measure just an exceptional human being and an exceptional sheriff, and she's going to be missed. But I'm sure she will have some suggestions as to where to look for a replacement.
Yeah.
And so Margaret Mims, we're going to get you on here. We're going to come there and. What do you think we'd take? We'd buy her a little dinner. She'd come.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna miss her.
Margaret comes on all the time. You don't have to ask her. Now, Mayor, I met with Mayor Dyer. I've been tough on the mayor. Been tough on Paco Butler. I'm gonna have a 3-hour.
I've been super kind.
3 hour. Yes, you do. Yeah. If this is good cop, bad cop, I don't know where the real bad cop's coming from. I don't know, man. But Jerry Dyer had a great thing on taking the politics out of law enforcement. He has a great line. He says when 911, when his dispatchers answer a 911 call, they don't say, please state your party. Say state your emergency, not state your party.
Yeah.
And that's, hopefully that can remain that way. I get a big heart attack coming up. This is Alan Autry. Are you that dude, that far right-wing wacko? KXCX? Well, listen, we should have somebody rolling out there by next Tuesday.
Yeah, well, that's the case. Well, imagine if I were to call.
You better call me, bro. You better. I could run there with these hips, get there quicker
than they're going to.
That patrol car that'll come and get you. Hey, this is Alan Autry, No Retreat, and it's Free for All Friday. Call us up, man. Go ahead. Hey, there's no break that's worthy of interrupting your thought process right now.
You're going to wish there was.
Go.
So, speaking about the police officers and me having to be with them, My car got broken into right on Kings Canyon. It got smashed.
All you had was those old CDs, man. I was looking through, raffling through, trying to find, the Bee Gees.
Yeah,
no Bee Gees, man. You had all this new stuff,
the new age stuff. Dr. Dre.
But I didn't break the windows.
So the police officers came.
Okay.
Two Fresno PD officers came, and they were
We refer to them as Fresno's finest.
Fresno's finest, but they weren't actually uniformed. They were in the F-150s. I guess they were like community resource officers, but they heard the call.
Did they have guns?
Yes.
They're a cop.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's all. They're a cop. All right, so two of them showed up in the Ford F-150, and they reminded me like of Yellowstone. They're tough, some great.
John Dutton and Rip showed up.
They did. And so they're out there, and they're just like, man, I'm really sorry this happened to you.
You still want Beth showed up?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wish you would have.
You wanted Beth. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So long story short, it was at the clerk came out of the store that I was frequenting there, and I thought the clerk was going to say, I saw the person that did it. And so the clerk came up and said, officer, a young man, maybe 21, said, officer, and I'm here telling my case and everything. He goes, officer, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think you could sign off on my window tint ticket? And
I kind of like it.
What are you going to do? And I'm just like, hey, I'm the victim right here, right now. Let me have my 15.
Was he trying to barter? Was he saying, hey, I'll let you know the info if I get a little tint job here?
No, he didn't care about the.
Well, I thought you said I lost the story there, I guess. I didn't. No, I thought you said he witnessed it.
Well, I thought so too.
Okay.
But he really didn't care about.
So he didn't.
No,
he came out.
He wanted because he wanted it anyhow. So the officer goes, because there was two of them. He looked over and said, okay, where's your vehicle? He goes, it's on the other side. He goes, well, did you take the tint off? And he said, no. And so the officer goes, so wait a minute, you want me to sign off on something that you haven't done? He goes, yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd do it. And at this point, I lost my marbles. I said, you know what, kid? I'm in the middle of telling him about my break-in. And then I go, what do you need the tint for?
You're trying to bribe a cop to fix your jalopy there, man.
Yeah, and I go, how dark is the tint? And he goes, well, it's pretty dark. And I go, why are you driving around? And so now the cops are looking at me like, oh, I love this guy.
So the story's off of you and now on his tint.
So we're talking
job.
about the tint. And he goes, that's pretty dark. And I go, why do you have to drive around with such dark tint? And he goes, because I have migraines. and I look, and all three of us, the two police officers and myself, we all looked at each other like, this generation, you've got to be kidding. Anyhow, so long story short, I was getting frustrated and flustered. So the officer was like, I better just take this kid and handle his job because this guy's, we're going to have another crime in progress here. So he comes back and the police officer is shaking his head and he's telling his partner that I couldn't even see inside. I had to go like this to see inside the window. And he goes, it was so dark. And he goes, well, did you sign off on the ticket? He goes, heck no. I say, you got to take this tint off. Nonetheless, Fresno's
the only thing missing probably if you told me the kid was wearing a defund the police T-shirt.
Oh,
that way, then go up and ask the cops, hey, I need your help.
Right?
Well, that is funny stuff, man.
The funny thing is, it was bright as day that day, and I thought you get migraines from driving, but you're out here. Anyhow, I'm sorry.
Not you sorry about it. It's Free for All Friday. I love that story. I'm going to retell it. I'm going to retweet it.
There you go. I wish Beth would have shown up at that point in time.
Oh, man, you don't even part of Beth. You know what he's done after the first couple of sentences from that kid? All right, this is Alan Autry, No Retreat. It's Free for All Friday. If you have something intelligent or just crazy you want to talk about, call up 559-899-1550. Correct? I'm getting better.
Yeah,
what, almost a year to memorize that?
That's all right.
All right, Alan Autry, No Retreat, Free for All Friday. We'll be right back. That's funny stuff.
Oh, man,
that is funny stuff.
Oh,
sometimes you wonder about people, what they could possibly be thinking. There's a cop there called to actually think the cop would actually try to fix something there, a ticket or order there on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, of course. I'm the Ayatollah of police. I can sign right off on that. Forget the court. You don't got to go to court. Let me sign that.
And my window, literally, the car was broken into. There's glass everywhere on the floor, and
you got a real crime.
I got a real crime that happened, and
I was hoping you would say that the guy came out and helped because I've been sitting on an incident that happened here in Fresno for about 2-3 weeks now. Just don't get to it. I'm trying to slip it in here when we come back, but I want to talk about those two other ladies that are my heroes here, but I want to slip that in. And I also want to talk to my son in New York. They're talking about, him and his roommates. One works on Wall Street. He's an actor. About this Ukraine war that can break out, about being called up, drafted. Because, his buddy Raj, he's just so funny. He's really deadpan. My son asked him, what do you do if you get called up, man? What are you going to do? He goes, oh, man, I don't know, man. I'm not going to go to Ukraine and have some 6'7" Russian chasing me with a loaded gun, avenging the death of his father. He says, I can't do it, man. For a while, they're going to have to do a lot more explaining why I'm going to do that.
Forget the guns; they'll get you with just their bare hands, like the Rock. Who's the guy that fought Drago? I mean, they don't need guns.
Dolph Lundgren, yeah. our good friend Stephen Cloud, was doing a movie with Dolph Lundgren and Bruce Willis. Yeah, boy, he went from macho to mush in terms of China. Oh, he was Beijing Biden all over the place.
I got no comment.
Till he gets a job.
Turn my mic off.
No, man, hey, if I'm going to hold him accountable, I promise the people that are listening right now, hold me accountable. If I speak forked tongue, if I just, I say, I'll stand my ground and I fold like that. He would say, can you take it off? Can you take it? We won't get any more. We don't want to hurt Stephen.
Man, he's not going to come back.
This is funny. He can't. He's scared to death. He's puckered up, man. You couldn't stick a pin up his rear end right now. God. He's so puckered. They're going to find out Xi Jinping's going to turn to KXEX 1550 someday. Gosh. Oh, he just lives in fear of that right now.
We have we can check where the listeners are tuning in online, and there's always someone in Russia. It's probably an algorithm or computer.
Really?
And in Russia,
they're listening in Russia.
They're monitoring. So
us.
Yeah.
So then we're Soviet agents.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's how the left would spin it.
Yeah, and you got to think.
They're doing that to all the others.
Yeah, they're doing it to everybody because they want to know what what's being talked about them.
I had a lot of fan mail. The night got into Georgia, not the Georgia in the United States. It's there too a lot because we filmed in Georgia, but over there in the Eastern Bloc countries, we got some. I got fan mail from Czechoslovakia, got some from Russia. So. Bubba, I don't know. What would be Russian for Bubba?
I asked my wife.
Bubba-ovsky?
Bubba. I'll ask my wife. She knows.
She knows Russian. What's that, Jose?
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
We don't like CRT here, but we like us some CCR. No better backup music to lead into the second segment than a little Creedence Clearwater Revival. Am I starting to sound a little bit like an AM DJ?
Hey, that's all right.
This is Alan Autry. Bring it on, get it on for 12 to 1 p.m. on KXEX. Here's Creedence Clearwater. Huh? Remember that, the Okino DJs?
Oh, yeah. That's an art.
Well, man, Jack out there, let me tell you about the politics over there in Russia. You don't want to go fighting no Ukrainians there with right now. They'll set off World War III. You set off World War III, then I can't spin no more records here. Oh, that's what the Wolfman Jack has to tell you about this.
Oh, hey, man. We actually have a caller from Lake County, California. Let's take. I got to have the shout out though. Please grab me because I lose track of time. As you know, I'm an old guy. They have to go. Alan, here, the room to the left. That's it. Take a left. There you go. Your oatmeal's coming here in a second. But I want to give a shout out to these two ladies, my heroes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we got Kyle on the line from Lake County, California. Lake County, welcome, Kyle.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, gentlemen, who came in? Man, that's. I appreciate how you addressed me, Kyle. I don't get that much. After 8 years of mayor, they got a lot of names for me. Gentlemen, hey, Kyle, real quick before you go into your what you want to talk about here, where is Lake County?
It's just above Sonoma and Napa County.
Okay, that's what I thought because I have my old roommate from college, Hank Marioni, owns Marioni's restaurant up there in Sonoma, and I seems like I'd heard that term, and I thought so. Thank you for clearing that up for me. What's on your mind, brother?
I just wanted to talk about SB 271.
Okay, what is that? Yeah, Guillermo, you know what that is?
It has to. It's not only, one part of it is about jury selection. And instead of taking it from a pool of registered voters, they want to change it to based on who pays taxes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Wow.
I don't agree with the jury selection part, but what I do agree with in that bill is it would also allow the average citizen to run for sheriff, since being an elected office.
That's in that same bill?
It's in the same bill.
Well, I tell you, Kyle, first of all, let me give you a little feedback just personally. Thank you for calling up, because I tell you, as mayor, I dealt with this. As a private citizen, I dealt with even more. They put things, they get these bills, they pass them in anonymity. They get we get no scrutiny of it. They don't even put them forth for the people to look at. The average citizen has no idea what's being passed, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it. And somehow that's got to stop. We have to have, this is the first I've heard of it. Now, I'm not claiming to be the most informed guy in the world. I do pay attention, try to, but thank you for bringing this forward. So where do you, fill us in, where do you think this is good or bad for Californians?
Well, in California, you used to be able to run for sheriff as an average citizen.
Right.
I mean, you had to go through, obviously, the police officers safety course.
Kind of an education program.
Bachelor's, at least.
Okay. And then they changed it?
Then they changed it to where you had to be law enforcement in order to run for sheriff.
Right.
And you had to have 2 years experience on the job, which I think is good. You should have experience to know what you're getting into. But at the same time, I'm not anti-cop, but I think our cops and our sheriffs need to learn the Constitution, and they need to quit enforcing policy.
The reforms. There's definite reforms that need to be made. I agree with you on that. That has to happen. And you can say, hey, I am pro-police. I support the police, but also in the same breath say, hey, there's some things in there that got to change. And being able to get rid of dirty cops is one of them, because nobody hates a dirty cop more than a good cop.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Guillermo. You got something for Kyle?
Yeah, I was going to say, Kyle, I appreciate him bringing this up. Sometimes I take a gander on the craziness that's coming out of Sacramento, and there's just so many bills. I mean, it would take me hours every day. So I was reading some of this, Kyle, and the need for this bill. It's by Senator Scott Wiener. So he's been prolific in
relation to Anthony. Once a wiener, always a wiener.
It's free for
I'm just kidding, folks. Go ahead. I'm just kidding, folks. Give me a break.
So here it looks like what they want to do is they essentially want to reimagine and really politicize sheriff's office. So this is the reason why they say they need this bill. And Kyle is absolutely correct here. They say that right now the criteria imposed by the state government has significantly narrowed the pool of candidates to run for sheriff, and it makes it harder to reimagine our criminal justice system. So, and then they go on to say sheriffs are essentially managers of a large bureaucracy. In large counties like ourselves, like Fresno County, they manage thousands of employees, the vast majority of them who are unarmed, non-sworn civilians. The three primary duties of sheriff are to police unincorporated areas, operate county jails, and attend to the executive orders of the courts. In the 41 counties, the sheriff is also the coroner. So they keep going, and they keep saying sheriffs can be the most powerful elected official in the county, and yet only a small pool of people may seek the position. I do remember this now. Yeah, this has been going for about a year, and this is and I'm glad Kyle brought this up, because I totally forgot about it. This is a very underhanded way, kind of like a George Soros kind of way, to start doing what they did with the DA and making sure they get that pipeline into the sheriff's office too.
Kyle, do you share that Guillermo's opinion on that, or you have another take on it?
No, I'm pretty much with Guillermo on that one.
I just wonder where the sheriff's associations are. We haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah, I'll find out.
So, Kyle, I tell you, brother, thank you for calling up, because let me tell you, hopefully, on this show, it's a very casual show. It's like, I'd like to think that we have a feeling like we're sitting around the living room just talking as friends. But one of the things we do want to try to do from time to time is inform, not from a position we think we are smarter than anybody else. It's just a lot going out there, that's very important, that all of us it's tough, like Guillermo says, to keep track of. It's something this important to bring it forth. I appreciate you, Kyle. And callers, same thing. Just if you got something you want to share, you think it's important, please take the time to call us. Thanks much, Kyle. God bless. Call again, buddy.
Thanks. God bless you.
Thank you.
And I also got, so you want the opposition? Here are the
Yes.
opposition. The Association of Orange County Deputy Sheriffs, the California Association of Highway Patrolmen, the California Fraternal. I mean, there's a long list, so it doesn't look like sheriff's offices think this is a good idea.
But, you know, I love the way Kyle presented that.
Yeah.
He wasn't, to me, that represents most Americans.
Yeah.
Not just most Californians. He says, look, here's some common sense things. You know, I wish we could bring good people in. Do you have to have experience as a law enforcement if you're going to manage and lead? Maybe not, or maybe a little bit, or this and that. And let's look at this because, and then say, I support the police, but I also think the police and law enforcement need to reform. There's a lot of stuff going on that needs to be either done away with it or reformed a great deal. And I think that is what most of us think that we can be. Yeah, I think. But so
I think you could always improve something. You know, there's no organization that's perfect, and when you have a government entity like that, there's always there's so many employees coming in and out. You always want to make sure you do better.
Could I run for sheriff? I pretended to be a cop for 7 years.
I forgot about your you
I
totally.
pretended. Does that count?
Yeah.
Pretending to be one?
It's the same thing.
I would say something right now about current office holders, but I won't. All right. We've got Laura. You stay on the line here. Should we go to another break? Let's go to another quick break. And Laura Fisher, hang on. I want to hear. We're going to get to the Ukraine. I got it set up in my mind when we come back. Topic to topic. So I'm going to get there, I promise. But I'm going to shout out to these ladies. And Laura, you would want me to after you hear what I'm about to say. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat with Guillermo Marino. We'll be right back. Oh, hey, I want to give a shout out here to folks. You know, it takes me a while sometimes, but I do read my emails and read the comments online, watch the show, and just want to give a shout out to Lynn Rocha Covey, homegirl there. How you doing, Lynn? She's a loyal listener and appreciate you so much. Daletown girl and one of the best. Rocha family's fantastic. Larry Rocha was one of the best friends in life and still is. Tommy Williams, you want to hear the Michael Landon story? I saw that. I got actually 2 Michael Landon stories, and I think you might get a kick out of Pamela Ann Parsons. Hey, go way back to Louisiana. Appreciate all your support. Donna Sotera, thank you. You've been there since the beginning. Malene, you have too. My goodness, you've hung in there. You not only showed up the first day, you stayed with them 228 shows later, and it's just a blessing every day I do this show to know that y'all are listening. Thompson, I appreciate you. You've come on and been a loyal viewer and listener. Appreciate you. And Jennifer Vick, thank you so much. Just a few, but I want to start calling folks out there that are supporting the show, including Sean and Lauren Roche, my son-in-law and daughter, and Joseph and Isaiah and the entire Roche family. Heather, my daughter, and Caden. He's feeling a little under the weather now, so get well to that little Titan.
Oh, man. He's
and Kimberly,
Caden?
she's under the weather a little bit. Yeah. And so, Kim, I don't know if you're listening. She sees enough of me. I don't think she does him. Yeah, I've seen it. Never done that. I looked the other day. I got to share. I don't know if I should share this online or not, or radio folks too. You feel pretty good as you get older. You feel like everything's kind of the same. I mean, you a few aches and pains. Sure, feel like your body's the same. And the other day, there was a mirror on the wall in the bathroom, and another mirror on the door, and it got caught at an angle where I could actually see my backside.
Yeah. Is it weird? Not your backside, but I mean... I got upset at Kim. I yelled. I said, Kim! She goes, what? Why didn't you tell me I was carrying 2 Shar-Pei puppies where there used to be butt cheeks? There were so many rows you could plant corn in those things. Oh, my God. And I'm looking at that, and I'm reminded of what my buddy Arnold Schwarzenegger said. He said, it's a bodybuilder. Oh, yeah.
And Arnold told me on the phone, he goes, yeah, you come out to Sacramento, we'll work out. He goes, Alan, he says, I look in the mirror, and I look at my body, and I say, what a train wreck. And I dropped the phone. I couldn't. It's a train wreck. He goes, I still work out hard, but look, I don't know what happened to me.
20 seconds.
I was like that, my Sharpay story. It's shocking because you don't see back there.
Well,
you don't walk around. It's tough to get a
like the back of your
shot
head.
of that.
Like the back of your head.
Exactly.
I probably couldn't in a lineup. I couldn't probably pick myself out of the back of my head.
What's the worst thing I could hear? Somebody looking
Going
back.
back.
I think I see a ball spot.
Yeah. Or
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
What's the matter? That was our theme song, University of Pacific, in our dorm room. You hear that playing all over campus. You knew there was a party going on over there at Southwest Hall, number 230. I was talking about my heroes. Once in a while, one will emerge from nowhere. The Canadian truckers. You got folks on like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema who say that they would be a hero. God picks unexpected folks. But I have two more. They have to be women, and there's one waiting on the line who's a hero of mine because how much she loves America, loves the downtrodden.
Amen.
And the amount of time she puts in is a little bit too much, I think. I kind of encourage her to take a little break like once every decade, at least, maybe get a couple hours sleep every 10 years. But did you see that Michelle Tafoya, you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, for those who don't, she's the sideline reporter for NBC Sports, primarily football. Been there for years and years, kind of beloved. Mm-hmm. Gives great interviews out there with the athletes, has great rapport. All the athletes just really respect her and has been around, like I said, for a long time. NBC loves her. Well, she's walking away. And the reason she's giving for walking away is she wants to be a part of something important and a higher purpose. And she says what sparked this to walk away from her job. And she went to great lengths to say, look, we're amicable. NBC and I wasn't forced out. This is not what this is about. This is all on me. I came and this is the reason. Apparently her child in school, grammar school child, has a friend. She's white. I think she's mixed a little bit white, looks a little Hispanic, but skin is white.
Yeah.
And the child's skin is white. And he has a little black friend, and they are inseparable at school. Well, he comes home one day and tells his mother that they're having a function the next day, and he can't be with these kids because the school said they are going to take the children to spend time with people kids that look like them.
No.
And the ones that don't look like them can't be a part of it.
No.
And he didn't understand. And Michelle, she didn't go Loudoun County on him,
Which she could have.
Wish she could. But in her way, I think she was very effective. She decided then, I'm going to step down. I don't know what my platform is going to look like now. But she says, I can't fathom why people are judging people solely by the color of their skin, not the content of the character. Well, her first stop was on The View. And she espoused that. We'll have the clip maybe next week, Guillermo. But of course, Whoopi Goldberg went right on her saying, hey, she's way off base for even having that thought. But Michelle came back with a very, very articulate response to that. And when you watch that show, bless their hearts, if you have an intelligent, compassionate, real world response to their craziness, insanity, and racism, really, they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So Joy Behar just kind of, she's up there twitching left and right. She's not saying anything. Whoopi's tried to come in there. But I think, way to go, Michelle Tafoya. What to walk. And then real quickly, Jennifer Say, that's pronounced last name S-E-Y, was, and not too long ago, a major executive at Levi Corporation in San Francisco. Well, she had some ideas and thoughts on the vaccine mandate, the school issues, such. And she decided she was going to walk away because Levi told her, we don't want you doing that. Okay. Well, the story gets better. She says, well, I'm going to have to speak out. There's certain things bigger than this, and I feel it for her to speak out. They offered her $1 million to stay quiet. She turned it down.
Wow.
She turned it down because there's certain things more important than that money. And you're seeing folks now, Levi, right out of San Francisco, one of the most, politically correct, woke left corporations you'll find. And she's walking away from this into the unknown because she has principles that she says, I can't break it. I can't keep going on like this, and remaining silent. And that is very encouraging. This comes on the heels of the Loudoun County School Board. And then you had the San Francisco situation, recalling the 3 folks, which, by the way, the recall board members are now saying racism is involved.
Oh, of course.
So anyway,
it's Democrat on Democrat. So I'm okay with it. You guys do
Guillermo, isn't that great, though? These women. Yeah, exactly. Invite, just go in.
Just grab the popcorn. And listen, that's what I told all the conservatives this election season. Shut up, grab a bag of popcorn, and just sit back and watch. They know where we stand.
I know who I'm pulling for.
What happened?
I thought I'm pulling for that really far left liberal because they're the one kicking out the wokes. Yeah, there's people farther left than the liberals.
They just keep popping further left. Before you know it, they're going to be on the right, coming around this way.
Yes, if you're in this realm of liberalism, meaning moderately liberal, extremely liberal, you're still for free speech. You're still for the basic things of the Constitution.
Yeah.
You cross over into wokedom, into Wokeville, call it the WFDL, the far left. All of these things, I mean, it's the Marxist state. Shut up, obey. Let me turn your kids, tell your kids there's no gender, there's mother, no father. We want to take down statues of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Frederick Douglass. And the liberals are going, I'll go with you so far, but I can't go into the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
I'm not Jack Nicholson. I can't go into the cuckoo's nest with you. Hey, so I salute to them, right? To Jennifer Say and Michelle Tafoya, KXEX, I think, and everybody on here, I can safely say that's on this lineup, really support them.
We support them, but if someone gave me $1 million to not say something, I'd probably take it, Alan. I'm not going to lie.
You're honest.
If someone called me and said, Guillermo, I'm going to give your station $1 million, you cannot talk about this topic, I will say it will never come out of my mouth.
I'm going to test that. You're going to call from Xi Jinping someday, but it may not be Xi. It might be a guy who does really good Xi Jinping. Well, how much is a yuan going for? Is it Chinese yuan or what is it?
I don't know. Yen.
No, that's Japanese. Unless I'm really sounding.
I think you meant the yuan.
We better go to Laura Fisher right away, right now, before
we get in trouble.
Expose my idiocy. Laura, you're on the line? Laura, are you there? Laura, are you there? Laura's got the hot mic. We're going to cut her off.
Cut off Laura.
Then tell her to call back. Yeah.
Talk about the groom.
We don't want to incriminate her. Well, actually, you want to talk about the Ukraine.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I told Guillermo during one of the breaks, the social media folks, I think, heard it, that my son, talking to me, lives in New York, lives with 3 roommates. One's in the high finance world, another, but just really good guys. And they're on the kind of the liberal side, but they're not far left. My son's kind of a middle of the road guy. And they're talking about the Ukraine, and I thought, hey, they're at the age group. And Congress is talking about reinstating the draft, signing up for the draft. So they're sitting around, drinking their lattes, talking about, they're snowed in. So they're talking about everything. So come a topic of Ukraine. And my son says to his roommate, Raj, he says, hey, Raj, he goes, what if, they actually institute this draft and you get called? What are you going to do? And Garage talks like a New York surfer from Manhattan Beach. he's like, well, I tell you, I listen, dude, I'm not going to go over to the Ukraine in sub-zero weather and face some 6'7" Russian running at me with a loaded gun trying to avenge the death of his father. I got to know a lot more about the Ukraine before I'll do that. And I think, and my son was on the floor laughing. But really, doesn't that say a lot? You got to know what's going on there. There's got to be a lot more explaining as to why we're willing to go to war with Russia over this country.
I get it. And at 5:00 today, I'm going to have retired Marine Corps Colonel John Somerville for Sounds Watchman. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. And he and I would describe myself. I'm a hawk. All right. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. And I believe that everything is connected. And right now you see Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and all these, Rocket Man in North Korea. They know when they can advance. And they advanced during the Obama years. They're advancing during the Biden years. Ironically, they didn't advance during the Trump years. It's all interconnected. And there's a lot of conservatives that I'm listening to that are, Tucker Carlson, he mentioned, was one of them, who was like, hey, look, we got no business to be in Ukraine. But I believe there's a larger picture. And if we don't stand up and we don't make our presence known, and you can do it without ever firing a shot.
Well, here's my point. What I need more information. I'm for defending legitimate democracy for the underdog, because if it wasn't for the French that came over to us and helped us during our revolution in 1776, we wouldn't have won. They came over and helped us. So I leave that door open. But you're talking to a Vietnam era dude.
Yeah.
And I saw a war developed just like this one with limited information. The reason for going to war not fully explained to the American public. It was just, hey, let's go stop communism.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for that. But it came down to they weren't willing to win that war for that cause. And over 45,000 troops, our sons and daughters, lost their lives, including two good friends of mine, a fullback on the football team. And so this hits real close to me and folks my age. And remember that Vietnam War. This is like looking a lot like, Vietnam 2.0. I mean, but it's not new and improved. So we need to have much more information, because right now it's like the COVID. The information and the science is not backing up reality. In Ukraine, the political analysis coming from our intelligence and Europe's don't match up to the reality in the Ukraine. And so I don't believe Putin is going to attack.
I agree with you on that.
I think because nowadays they've learned these countries like China, they've seen how difficult it is to occupy. Germany tried to occupy and it all fell apart. Too much to manage. Mm-hmm. You see you all the way back to the Roman Empire, all over the world. Too much to manage and it crumbled. They couldn't manage the Middle East. They couldn't manage Europe. They tried to just micromanage, make everything Roman. And you go on down to British. Britain did the same thing, going to India, going to the Middle East, Lawrence of Arabia, everything. They couldn't manage it. So Putin knows history. They want to control, not occupy.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
true.
I think he may go in and do a little incremental Crimea deal.
Minor incursions?
Yes. But I'd even doubt that. I think he sent a clear message. Don't even consider NATO. And then we got Laura back on the line? Okay, well, let's go to Laura here. Laura, are you there? Laura?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, we heard you on the mic before. I didn't want to put you on a hot mic. I didn't know who you were talking to there, and I wanted to be respectful, so that's why we cut you off, is you didn't know we were here and we could hear you, and we don't want to do that. What's your take?
That's okay. I was just gossiping.
Okay, go ahead. We got about 6 minutes.
Well, I sent you an email. I sent you the 2 draft treaties that I told you I'd send you.
Right.
And I noticed something that really just stuck out. There has been no foreign intelligence reporting. None. Zero. Nada.
Exactly.
About false flag actions.
Yeah.
The only ones that have reported that is U.S. intelligence. Now, around the world, they're reporting that U.S. intelligence is saying this. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be a hyper-focus on MSNBC and CNN about this possibility of a false flag. And I just find that very, very strange.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me take 10 seconds here, then I want to go back to you. Folks, what this false flag is, if you don't know, it's a term derived back from 1932, I believe, when the Reichstag, that was the German equivalent of Congress, the building, the Capitol, caught on fire. Hitler and the commies were going at each other, and he said the commies set the fire, so he was able to get the folks on his side and go after the commies and take over the country. They found out later that it was almost 100% that the Nazis and Hitler were behind that fire. They lit the fire and blamed it on the commies. So that when Laura says false flag, that's what they're trying to say that Russia is going to invent something, start something, shoot something, but blame it on the Ukrainians, that it's the Ukrainians that started it. Go ahead, Laura.
I just keep going back to the Kobayashi Maru, what I told you the other day.
Tried to
You
think
can't
of that
win
last
unless
night.
you compete. And I don't think Russia's going to do a false flag. I think with the desperation and the corruption in this administration, I just fear they may try to pull one. Unfortunately, they're not Captain Kirk, so it's going to blow up in their face.
Well, you're right. And you think about corruption. I'm glad you brought that up. And this isn't going after Hunter Biden personally. This is just fact as we analyze and break this down. Here's a country with a top corporation that's interconnected with that government that hires Hunter Biden, knowing exactly who Hunter Biden is, knowing his habits, knowing all of this. It is not a democracy. It's an authoritarian government, and you want to let them come into NATO. They've got a civil war going on now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense for us, number one, to back them up blindly as if it's France being attacked or Italy being attacked without more information. I'm with you. But I think Putin has made his point. I think he's going to emphasize it with an exclamation point that, listen, don't even consider NATO. You make that concession, Ukraine's not going to be a member of NATO. And because, as you well know, Laura, you brought this up, it's very true. NATO was formed to combat the old Soviet Union, the aggression. Well, there's no more Soviet Union. There's just Russia, but there's still NATO. And NATO's coming this way, gobbling up these Eastern European countries, and now they're at the Russian border. And you said it very telling the last time we talked. You have to understand who you're dealing with, even if it's your enemy. And sometimes the enemy has a position you have to respect if you want a diplomatic solution.
Yeah.
Well, we can't have a diplomatic solution with Anthony Blinken.
I agree. He wants war.
There's absolutely no possible way. I mean, anybody that's done $4 trillion worth of business with one of our biggest adversaries, who is now aligned with Putin. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not falling for that. And I also feel, given that I've taken the last 8 years of Hunter Biden, he's quite a delight. A good fiction writer could not make this stuff up.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
Oh, my Lord. Well, I sent you a very summarized.
I'm going to read it this weekend.
You know what I sent you about the laptop seizure?
Yes, I'm going to read it this weekend.
That's going to be an October surprise.
Yes,
and the reason I do is because I've filed FOIA requests many times, several hundred, as a matter of fact, and it takes 2 to 4 weeks to process one. Do you know the State Department? I have the letter. I'll send it to you. Actually, in writing, told the New York Times they would not hand over that cache of Romanian embassy emails. They wouldn't even process the FOIA request until April 2023. That tells me there's something really, really dirty in there.
Well, we just got a Captain Obvious statement from the Wall Street Journal, an otherwise very credible source, but said, the Russia attack may include planes, tanks, and cyber attacks. Well, Buford didn't know that. Did you know that, Guillermo? I thought they was going to go in there with pea shooters and bow and arrows. Didn't you? Like they're going out hunting those boars up in the Appalachia, man. They're going to actually use tank and jets if they attack.
Well, and it looks like
bareback with maces.
Yeah, Putin's going to lead it bareback. Putin's going to be on his horse bareback leading the charge. I'm coming after you, Zelensky. Laura, thank you for tuning in. But appreciate it, dear. And I'm going to read that, and we'll talk hopefully on Monday. I can't wait to eat that article up. Oh, man.
It looks like Biden's going to give an address.
4 p.m.
4 p.m.?
You going to cover it live?
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
4 p.m.
What do you think he's going to say this minute we have?
That they're going to fight with tanks, jets, and just the obvious.
I think he's going to say there's an imminent attack coming Sunday at 1:22 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there will be an all-out Russian invasion of the Ukraine, and you can take. Oh, wait. Hey,
here's the deal.
What, are you a junkie? You don't believe that? What, are you a junkie?
Come on, man. Here's the deal. Come on, man.
Well, come on. We got 30 seconds to kill. Hear the music. Kill. I'm going to let you take us out of this mess.
Hey, I hope it doesn't speak for longer than an hour because who knows where else is going to start a conflict. And Joe, be brief.
Yes. And I think we don't needlessly, without warrant, want to go face 6'7" Russians running at you with loaded guns trying to avenge the death of their father. Unless we're willing to do it as Americans, if freedom's really at stake, But, man, you got a big case to make, and that's all I'm saying, right?
Amen.
Make the case for freedom, and I could join Guillermo with flying the hawk. A smart hawk, though, doesn't fly into an eagle's nest.
Ooh, well said.
Right? Alan Autry, no retreat. See you next Monday. Good Lord willing, Pete, don't rise. Bye-bye now. All right, folks. God bless and love y'all. Thanks for tuning.